Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kanisha if you already don't know, and in today's video we are going to be filming all the books that I've read so far this year, because I have not done any wrap-ups because I haven't read that much in each month, so there's no point of making like a 2-minute video. So we're just gonna combine all of them in this video. So I have read, I think, 16 books already this year. My goal is 150. I'm behind, but I will catch up. But anyways, let's get into the video. So the first book I read was Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Honestly, this was such a good book. I think my rating was 4 stars, but to be honest, I don't remember anything that happens in this book besides the 2 main characters. Like, I like the concept of like the magical typewriters and be able to write like letters to each other. I really just like the romance in this book, I think, more than the actual plot, if you know what I mean. So basically, Iris, our main character, she has a job at this like gazette, like some journal place or whatever. She doesn't have that much money. Her mom is like suffering from, I think, mental illness. So the only way for her to get more money and everything is to get promoted. But she has a competitor. We have Roman, our male main character, and you know, he comes more of like a richer side, you know what I mean. So yeah, Iris, she started writing these letters, and she would get letters back and like from her wardrobe, and it turns out those come from Ronan, and you know, they've been talking and communicating through the magical letters with like their typewriters, because they're like connected to one another, and it leads them all the way to war because Iris wants to find out what happened to her brother. So that's kind of the gist of the story. Hopefully I explained that good, because I feel like I'm bad at explaining. Next 2 that I read in January were on my Kindle, and they were like thriller mysteries, just because I was kind of in a slump. So the only way for me to get out of a slump is to read kind of like thriller mystery books, because I feel like those kind of help. But the first book I read, The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, I think that's her name. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I gave this 3 stars. To be honest, I don't remember what happened in this book. I read it so long ago. We have our main character. I'm looking at my laptop, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my laptop. But we have our main character, Sarah, and she is this like powerful attorney, and she's married to Adam, who is kind of like a failed writer, and you know, the marriage is not going super well because Sarah is always working and Adam is like not having that, because he, you know, just wants to spend time, but also just like overall the marriage is just falling apart. One day Sarah, she gets like a phone call or whatever that someone was found dead in their cabin where Adam was having an affair, and it just becomes this wild ride because Sarah, since she's this amazing attorney, she represents her husband, and I'm like, girl, what the frick? Like, he was having an affair, and then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna represent you. It's just a lot of twists and turns, and I think it's a good book if you're in a reading slump. Okay, so the next book I read is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I think that's how you say your name. And I gave this 4 stars, but honestly I might switch it to 3 because I don't remember anything that really happened in the book. Like, I just remember having a grand old time while reading it. But basically we have our main character, Claire, I think. Her sister goes missing, and you know, like, the case becomes cold, they can't find her, so it just ends there. And then years later, another girl goes missing, and it's like kind of a similar case, and it's also pulling, like, there's stuff that's being connected from the past with her sister's case. So Claire is just trying to find that out. I mean, you can't go wrong with thriller books, so I feel like if you need to read any of those books, those 2 are pretty good. Oh, I didn't realize I read this in January, but I I guess I did. So yeah, we have another book in January that's on me. That's on me. But it is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This was so good. I was lucky enough to get an ARC, I think just a couple days before it was gonna release. And I ate it up so much that I had to buy the physical copy because, first of all, look at that cover. Look. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I just love anything that's like Ali Hazelwood. I don't know why. Every time I read one of her books, it's always like a high rating. I just don't understand. But anyways, yes, I gave 5 stars. That's how amazing it was. And I know a lot of people are gonna hate this book because I feel like a lot of people just don't like Ali Hazelwood's books and her writing, I guess. But I just love it. So, you know, read it at your own risk. But basically we have Misery, which is our vampire, and then we have Lo, which is our werewolf. So vampire, werewolf. And Misery, she lived in the vampire world for a little bit, then she lived in the human world, and now she has to come back to the vampire world because due to some political stuff, she has to marry Lo, the werewolf. They had to form like an alliance for their family to kind of protect them, and you know, they low-key kind of fall in love. So I just really liked it, and I think if you like Ali Hazelwood books, but also if you like, I guess, Twilight, you're probably gonna like this book anyways. But yeah, in February I read 3 books, and these were kind of, well, 2 were like romance book and the other one's kind of drama. But anyways, the first book I read was Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I got this book so long ago. Who was it? Simon and Susher, Simon Teens, were kind enough to send me a physical copy of this. And also this, I literally screamed when I saw this. Are you kidding me? She signed it too. I love Lynn Painter. If you know, you know that I love Better Than Movies, which is on here. And this was amazing. I gave it 4.5 stars. It just says 4 stars in here because I don't see my description, but I'm pretty sure I gave it 4.5 stars. If not, I will fix that rating. But this was so good. If you love Better Than the Movies, you're gonna love Betting on You. Lynn Painter can do no wrong with writing YA books. First of all, we have our 2 main characters, Charlie and Bailey. So Charlie is our guy character and Bailey is our female character. And basically, when they first meet, it's not a good meeting because, you know, Charlie's kind of an asshole and Bailey is like, what is happening? And then years later, she meets Charlie again and they have to work together, and she's going through some just like family issues, and so Charlie is going to be there to help her. They start fake dating, and it's kind of like, obviously, like Betting on You is that like guys and girls can't be friends, so that's kind of the bet. And it was just so good, like the banter and everything. I just loved it. I loved it. You can't go wrong with Lynn Painter. The next book I read is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is my first Abby Jimenez book, and it was amazing. Like, oh my god, I've been sleeping on Abby. Like, I'm so sorry I've been sleeping on you. I think I'm just gonna read the rest of your books now. So I gave it 4.5 stars. It was so good. Like, I think not only was the romance good, but the like detail to anxiety and everything was like spot on, because I felt like I was connecting to Jacob on every level. I just loved it. I had Brianna, which is our main female character, and she is this, I think she's a doctor, and Jacob gets transferred, or he like quits his job at the other hospital and goes to this hospital. And you know, at first they're not like vibing. Brianna thinks he's kind of like a mean person, but in reality Jacob is not. He's not a mean person. And then one day Jacob's ex is gonna be marrying his brother. I know. And so he's invited to the wedding, and you know, he tells his family that he has a girlfriend, but he doesn't. So he gets Brianna to be his fake girlfriend, and they start fake dating, and you're just following them and following their journey as well. It's just, I loved it. If I could reread this again, I would. Next, I read Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This book I was terrified to start because, first of all, Magnolia Parks, I've heard like the one trope that's in here that I hate so much, I think a lot of people hate too, is in this book. And I'm not gonna say it because it's kind of a spoiler, so, but if you know, you know. And I thought I wasn't gonna like this book because of that one trope, but I was wrong. Oh my god, I gave it 4.5 stars. It's so good. If you love Gossip Girl, you're gonna love Magnolia Parks because it's just filled with drama and more drama. Like, it's insane. Like, I honestly got a headache from all the drama, but I just ate it up. Either you're gonna love or hate these characters, and I honestly love them. Like, I just can't get enough of them. And I'm gonna be reading the 4th book soon. I'm just scared. I'm scared. But yeah, there's not too much to say about this book because I feel like it's almost like a TV show and you're kind of just like following what's happening. So I can't really say what's gonna happen here, but just know that Magnolia and BJ are very, very toxic. The next books I read in March, we have The Teacher by Frida McFadden. This was like, I think, one of my most anticipated reads, and unfortunately I gave it 3 stars. Doesn't mean it was bad, it just wasn't good, but it just also wasn't extremely bad, because at the end I was kind of like, wow, really weirded out, like kind of weirded out. Like, I didn't feel too comfortable, but I still like, it just kept me up at night, which is obviously like a good thing. Any thriller mystery that makes you want to continue reading it, that's gonna be good, because then it kind of just like catches you. Eve has this perfect marriage with her husband Nate. You know, like, they both teach at a high school, so they're both high school teachers, and there was kind of like a student teacher affair that was happening, and it became like well known from this one girl, Addie. Eve is like just not having it with Addie. Eve just does not like Addie because the teacher that was fired basically was kind of a mentor for Eve. So Eve just hates Addie already, like very quickly, and Eve just does not trust her, and all the truth and stuff starts to like explode. And yeah, it's a lot. Like, I just was not expecting the plot. I was very confused, but either way, I think it's a good book to just read for fun, to be honest. So the next books I read were also part of the Magnolia Parks universe, and they are Daisy Hates and Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. So the first one I read was Daisy Hates. This follows, obviously, Daisy. This is our kind of like second main character because the universe is Magnolia and then Daisy. And while like Magnolia is more like the, I mean, they're still rich, but it's less focused on kind of like high society. This is more focused on kind of like gangs, guns, all of that. So it's completely just 180, completely different from Magnolia Parks. And I gave this 3.75 stars because honestly I felt like Christian and Daisy just kept going back and forth, and it was getting annoying. I was like, girl, either make up your mind or like, can't do like back and forth all the time, because it's annoying and it gave me a headache. But I still enjoyed the book. I loved Julian Hates, which is Daisy Hates' brother, and I can't wait to read more about him. And also like the way this book ended, the way all of the books ended, I'm like, girl, you just cannot do this to us. Like, that is so mean. I can't even imagine reading the first book and the rest of the series isn't out yet. Like, I would be devastated. So yeah, but anyways, Loved it. Next we have is Magnolia Park's Long Way Home. This continues the first book from Magnolia Park's the way it ended. So it just continues. I gave this 4 stars because of this. I love Magnolia and BJ. I think those two are my favorite characters, or just like my favorite couple overall. I'm just terrified of what's gonna happen, and also I can't even really say what's gonna happen in this book because it's a continuation of the first book. So you're gonna have to like read the first book in the series to kind of know what's happening. But just know that it's still filled with drama. There is never-ending drama, but also sadness. So much sadness and anger. Like, it's just a lot. I finally decided to continue the Chestnut Springs series by LZ Silver. I love these books. Oh my god. The first one I read was Powerless. This follows Jasper and Salome. This is kind of like childhood friends to lovers. Because it's the Chestnut Springs series, you would think it's all gonna be cowboys, but this one's actually about a hockey player and a ballerina. Like, it's very different, and I liked it. I gave this, I think, 4 stars. It's not my favorite. I think this is my least favorite out of the whole series. I have not read Hopeless yet, so I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But I just know I'm not thinking about Jasper or Salome. I'm just not thinking about them. Like, I'm really not. But you basically kind of follow Jasper, who is this kind of like famous hockey player. I think he's in the NHL. I don't know if I read that, if he's in the league, but he's definitely famous, so he might be. And Salome, she's getting out of this relationship with this horrible guy that literally did not treat her right, and also kind of trying to get away from her family because her dad is always always disappointed in her in any way, and she just wants to have a break, so she goes back to Chestnut Springs. Salome always liked Jasper, but Jasper hasn't reciprocated those feelings until they start spending more and more time as they're older. And yeah, I think it's really cute. It's just not my favorite. Next one, Reckless. This was so good. Also, Rainco's Books was enough. Oh yeah, Rainco's Books was also kind enough to send me these 2, so thank you so much. But they also sent it signed for Reckless, which I'm actually so happy about because this is literally Heartless and Reckless are just like, I can't pick between those 2. Like, I can't say which one is like my #1 favorite. Those 2 are just perfect. But Reckless, gave it 5 stars. Absolutely 5 stars. This is a book that I thought I was not gonna like because it has a trope. It's the pregnancy trope. Yeah, it's kind of like single mom a little bit. Like, I normally don't like the pregnancy trope, but this was so amazing. Oh my god, I don't understand how LZ Silver does it because she just makes me love the tropes that I hate, and I'm like confused because how did you do that? How? But basically, Winter is obviously Summer's sister. I know, ironic, the 2 names. And her and Theo, they have like kind of like a one-night stand, and obviously she becomes pregnant with the baby, but she kind of keeps it a secret a little bit. Not really, but overall, like, he doesn't really know. And after obviously he finds out, he wants to win her over and also be a family. So it was amazing. Like, oh my babies, my literal babies. The last book I read in March was Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. A follower was kind enough to send this to me. I don't remember your name, but I don't know if you watch my YouTube, but anyways, if you do, thank you so much for sending me this book. I gave it 3.5 stars. This book is, I feel like I have not read a dark romance in literally so long. So when I decided to read this, I was shocked. Oh my god, it's just, this book is just pure sadness and anger. Like, just confusion, everything just combined. And like, yeah, basically Cora is our main female character, and then we have, who is the other guy? Dean. We have Cora and Dean, and Dean is supposed to be marrying Cora's sister, but then before the wedding, so Cora and Dean basically like get kidnapped, and it kind of tests their relationship because they've been kind of like enemies a little bit for so long, like 15 years, and you know, Cora just does not like Dean at all, but you know, during the kidnapping, like they kind of have to work together and be there for each other, and it just goes through a lot. Like, search up trigger warnings. Like, I kind of just stared at my wall for like a few minutes after reading this because I was like, what the frick just happened? But yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be my last stop for dark romance, because I used to be a dark romance reader, but I stopped. But we'll see what happens. I wasn't gonna include April in this video, but honestly, why not? Because I just know I'm not gonna make a wrap up for April anyways. So yeah, I read One by One by Frida McFadden, another Frida McFadden book because I love her. This was sent to me, I don't know who sent it to me, but it was one of the publishing companies. They sent it to me, and I think it was a re-release because it had already released so long ago. It's like 6 adults that go on like on kind of like a getaway. Yeah, so Claire has her husband, who they're having like not an okay marriage, like it's not going well, you know, it's always the marriage. Somehow they're just not having a fun time, and basically they have to go on this getaway with their kind of like their friends, and their car breaks down, so now they have to somehow get to like the hotel or motel, wherever they're going, and one by one each of them kind of disappears, and it's like, oh my god, it did keep me up on my toes for sure. Like, I think I read this in one night, which kind of shows. I did give it 4 stars, so it was pretty good. I liked this one. This one was pretty good. The ending was a little bit weird, like I think the epilogue, but overall the book, loved it. Next book I read in April was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Oh my god, 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. This was amazing. I'm so mad that I didn't start this sooner because I loved it. We have Addie, and she kind of makes this deal with the devil to kind of trade her soul for immortality. And basically we follow Addie between past and present, because it's basically from like the 1700s to the 2014 I think. And you know, she's just trying to navigate her life because she just wanted to live her life to the fullest and not be stuck in an arranged marriage that her family had planned. So that's why she made the deal with the devil. And then one day she meets Henry in 2014, so the present, and he actually remembers her because everyone who has met Addie never remembers her. So that's why, like, literally The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That makes so much sense, right? This, like, oh my god, I wish I could just reread this again. It was so good. Like, I don't understand what's in this book. But also, I felt like I was reading for the wrong person, so I don't know what was happening. But there's so many theories about this book, especially the ending. And there's one theory that I really like. I'm not gonna say it because it's kind of a spoiler. So if you do see it, maybe it's the right one I'm talking about. But this was such a magical world. It was so easy to get into. I just loved it. Like, go read it now if you haven't. And the last book I read, literally just finished yesterday, is another Elsie Silver book, Wild Love. This was so good. Are you kidding me? I gave this 4 stars. This is Elsie Silver's new series, the Rose Hill series or whatever. It's a bunch of like billionaires and single dad, small town. So you got everything that you want in like a book. This was so good. Like it's obviously, yeah, single dad. So fourth Grant is our single dad, and Rosie Belmont, she is this like kind of like city girl, and she goes back to Rose Hill because she got fired from her job, so she needs a new job. So she turns to Fort Grant, who obviously is a billionaire, and he has a recording studio that he wants to like build up, and so she becomes his assistant. And then one day a little girl shows up at his door saying that she is his daughter. So Ford is dealing with all of this like new fatherhood, but also his feelings for Rosie. It was amazing. It was so good. I would say there were a little bit boring parts, like it just felt like repetitive, but also I think it's just because when the couple got together I was like, oh my god, it's already over. Like the tension, the build up. But once it came back, I was like, I love it. It was amazing. So yeah, definitely read this. I think just anything by Elsie Silver is amazing, so just go read one of her books. So that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm trying to be more consistent with filming, so hopefully I can film a little bit better and more. But let me know what type of videos you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.